Hey, let's play PowerShell. Now, I haven't done one of these videos in a long time, and I just saw a post on Reddit that I thought might make a good video. So let's jump into it. Let me get my screen share up and going. YouTube, control room, screen share. Perfect, go. Let's go full screen. And oh, Hall of Mirrors. Okay. So, a little bit ago, I just saw a newbie looking for script criticism advice, right? So let's take what he has. Let's move it into something that's going to show us a little bit better what he's looking at here. So let's go ahead and grab that. And then just grab the whole thing into the IC. I'll do this because just formatting wise, right? I want to be able to see what I'm looking at. And I've got a panel open here. And so, okay. His request is to just criticize, critique what he has, right? So, just to finish authoring, all feedback is welcome. Perfect, that's what we're going to give, more feedback. The job of this particular script is to export tapes from BackupExec 16 managed library and have been used in the last 14 days. My aim is to simplify the tape swap process for my non-technical admin staff. Okay. So what I'm saying is he has been using this already, but he wants to simplify it for someone else to use. Perfect. Okay. I already love that. I absolutely love the fact that he's using an advanced function here, right? Let me get my, see, I don't need the command. Let me make this larger. So he's already using an advanced function, and he has his commandlet bindings, and it requires an empty param block, which is fine. So he's taking no input from the user. Okay, so what that means is, just the quick analysis is, the export UsedBackupExecTape takes no parameters. So every time he runs it, it's going to export the UsedBackupExecTape. All right, so let's see if he maintains that. So get module name contains BEMCLI. Already loaded. Perfect. Okay. So what I see already is that just a quick tip is he's testing to see if the module is already loaded. If you take your module and you actually manage the export functions, so if he built a true module and placed it in either the program files PowerShell modules folder and defined the functions to export, or place it in the user's directory PowerShell modules folder with the functions to export, it will load automatically. So if he is properly defining his modules, this is probably redundant check of code, right? Because he's basically testing, hey, did we load this module? If not, let's just go ahead and import it because I know I need it. And like I said before, if the functions to export is defined, PowerShell, at least version 3 or 4 will automatically import that function when it is called. Okay? So let's look at his next. I'm going very blind here. I've not looked at this at all. So he has a custom function, get BE job, where schedule not like unscheduled. So we're asking for the unscheduled, no wait, not like unscheduled. Not means negative. So he's BE jobs is all scheduled jobs, right? BE job history is where I take the jobs and I pipe it to get BE history, where I hit the backup if exceeded, and the start time is greater than -14, which is 2 weeks ago. Now, if I'm being overly critical, yeah, let's call that overly critical, I would say, let's call this guy here 2 weeks. So if I do this, like I hate magic numbers, right? So let's do the number, let's do 2 weeks equals 14. And call this guy here negative 2 weeks. Okay, this is kind of an extreme edge case, right? But basically, anytime I see a magic number, I want to have it defined in a variable so that when I place it into my code later, I actually have a value of what it is. Generally, 14 is easily divisible by 7. I know it's 2 weeks pretty easily, so this might be overkill, but I thought it'd be a good chance to point out where a chance to say -2 weeks. God, I really don't like negative in that spot either, but I'll run with it. So I'm going to undo that just because it wasn't that bad to begin with. Okay, so I've got a job history because I got my backup history where it says anything in the last 2 weeks. Perfect. Now that I know what I'm working with. Why is the if statement indented here, right? So I think I would actually have taken this guy here and kept him in a line because my code flows this way. Okay, so if job history is null, job history is empty, exiting, break. Okay, I'll accept that. You can easily do a return statement here instead, because break, the issue with break is if you have a script calling this script, I think it'll exit both of them, right? Or return will just fall back to whatever's calling this. So a break is truly a hard break in this scenario where any script that calls this, I think, breaks. I'll have to test that off the cuff. I believe that's true, but I need to think on that. The next one, media used an array list, okay? All right, so I've got an empty, media used array. For each, okay, I'll put that. For each backup job in backup job history, which we defined it back here. This is the same backup job history here. So basically I'm going to walk each block. So backup job is now our active item. Backup job, piping it to get the job log. I don't know what that function does, but I'm assuming if I give it a job, I get back the log. So I have the log here. Okay. So next step. Used media equals backup job log split return line. So I was looking for any return lines. So basically, every time there's a return in the string, we're going to get an object across the pipe, right? That's what we're doing here, is we're basically splitting the pipe. So we can do a select string on the pattern of some character less than or equal to media / s label colon s. Was that space character, right? So you can do like a space or a tab. So space or tab / b star dot / b break. Is b the boundary of a word? So basically, is any word in here? Back up. Basically, we've got a pattern we want to match, and it's this pattern. And we basically want anything that matches this pattern. So that's what used media is. Anything that matches that pattern defined. Okay. So then we're going to walk through each match in the matches. All right, so if there's no matches, we'll go through nothing. The match is okay, so media name is match not value. So whatever was matched in that pattern is media name. So we're going to switch on the media name. All right, so whatever our regex was, it's going to go to this block here. And we're going to switch. Okay, then we're going to do this like B2D volume, right, verbose. If it's an image, we're also going to write the same thing. Okay. But anything else, okay, so the catch here is anything this is B2D or an image, we basically want to write out the verbose output that is actually a B2D volume. Anything else, I want to add the media used and add the media name. Media name here is the value. What is the value? Match in use media matches. Pattern question mark equals. Okay, so if it's not a B2D or an image, we're going to add it to our list of media used. We're going to out-null it so that nobody sees it, right? Basically, we're silencing the output by using the out-null, which is fine. Okay, if this fails, we're doing a write error of whatever the error is. What would fail here? Try switch. Okay, so first off, my question is, let me get this scroll down a little bit. So far, I don't have any questions other than this try catch. Because I don't know what we're catching here, okay? Right, this feels like we're overly broad. We're going to catch any error, we're going to write it out. But I'm trying to ask myself, what type of error am I going to see in this chunk of code, right? Because either this is null, if it's null, I get the default, right? So if it's null, media add will fail. So my question is, if it's null, if that's the only thing that's going to generate an error is if it's null, why not test for null first and just eliminate the try catch? Like this feels like a catch all, but I don't know why I'm catching all on something if I can just test for null. Now, this is a very personal preference of mine to test for conditions instead of using the try catch. So I might not be seeing why the try catch is important here, but personally, I would use the is null and do something before I even go into the switch, right? Because otherwise, media used. Wait, where's that even defined? Oh, up here. And you're saying it's an array list. So I'm not sure what could possibly fail here. I don't know why the try catch is here. That's my only concern with the script so far is why the try catch. Okay, let's move on. Let me scroll down a little bit here and look at the unique media use. Is the media use sort object get unique? I think sort object has a unique option. Let me test that, right? Sort object unique. Okay, I think it supports unique. So you could have done, instead of the get unique is sort object dash unique. Minor issue is, but I did not even know get unique was a thing. Okay, so media to be exported are the things we want to export. We're going to create a new array list. I like that. Array list is a great object to use as a collection. Export job name. Wait a second. I think you've broken from your conventions here. Very minor thing, but as I catch this, I want to point out that you do not use the underscore anywhere else in your scripts. So you're transitioning from Pascal case to whatever the hell it is that uses an underscore, right? So this is the only place to use an underscore. I'm going to say that either this is an oddity that you did not intend, or this is your personal preference, and most of the code is copied from somewhere else. So I'm using this, let's just say you wanted camel case, no, Pascal case, sorry, and the underscore doesn't match with your conventions across the rest of your script. Personally, I build a convention and I adhere to it very rigorously so that anytime I see an exception to my personal convention, it is more likely that it's a bug in my code than anything else, right? And that's a minor thing for me to harp on, right? Like literally, it is a underscore in your code and I'm harping on it. But if you are consistent, you will find your own errors that much faster. So that is the only reason I am calling that out, is because if you have a personal convention, you will find your own mistakes faster than anything else. Okay, so for each media label in unique media used, probably capitalize that, but that's enough odd case. So unique media used is this guy up here. Okay, so we know the unique media. Library slot equals get media name, media label. String definition of that. Get robotic library slot. Must be a different library. Media to be exported plus equals library slot, which is what we define here. Okay, I'll accept that. Exporting the following labeled media stored in the listed slots. I tell you what, if I was going to critique anything at this point, I would say that your write verbose statement would be a lot more valuable if in here you actually said which slot and what labeled media you were exporting. Like I said, it's a minor thing, but when you are troubleshooting an issue, knowing those specific details would be good. And actually, to be fair, because I'm doing this real time, you might have it here on this right verbose. So for each, I might have just jumped the gun on that one. All right. So pending export in media to exported. Okay. So right verbose, you are exporting the pending export median dot name from slot whatever. Okay. So is this actually matching up? Media to be exported is what you loop through up here, right? Submit backup exec exported media job dash name exported job name. Wait, where's the name? Okay, that guy's up here. And he is formatting the date, media export. Okay, that's good. Without null. Right, you're wanting to suppress output. I'll like that. Honestly, I think you're on the right track here. I mean, I kind of grabbed some corner cases on this guy, but all in all, I think the code you have here is a. Wait, I gotta scroll down. No, that's it. That's it. I think the code you have here is above average, right? Like a lot of people are not to the point that you are at in this code. So now that I've seen the script, and other than the comments I've made so far, I would, in my personal practices, I suppose that's a good way to preface this, I would add up here, literally right here, wait, literally right here, I would add my help, and it's I add a description. Wait, let me get that right. DS description. And I might say, hey, I support use backup exec tape jobs, and maybe add a dot example, or basically say we take this whole line here. No. Copy, paste, and then I add a dot notes for whatever notes I have on this guy. Right, so really, honestly, I'm just gonna say, you've done a pretty good job on this. Nothing has really made me cringe too much, and other than, I would have literally added the help function right here. Like, this is probably my most critical feedback is you didn't have any help on here, but at the same time, you don't have any parameters, right? So your help doesn't tell you much other than run the function as is. So that is my quick feedback based off of your post on Reddit. And I hopefully you saw some value in this. But honestly, I just want to say, hey, you're on the right track. I like that you're using an array list because that says that you understand that there's a penalty of performance for adding things to an array, and your variable names are fairly descript. Honestly, if I was going to nitpick anything, shit, I don't even know what to nitpick on this point, honestly. I really appreciate how clean this looks. I don't know if you need more white space in places, but honestly, I'll accept what you have here and just say, hey, thank you for sharing this to the community. And this is my feedback. I thought I'd do a video instead of typing this stuff out. And so you can see how I approach your code with very clean eyes. Like, I did not review this before I did this video. So hopefully you can appreciate that. And yeah, so anyways, like I said, this is just a quick run through, a quick feedback on the post you had. Hopefully I had some value in what I said, but honestly, you're on the right track. Keep doing what you're doing. You're already doing advanced functions. On the long-term timeline, build a module that you can just drop this function into. That might be the next thing you might want to look at is, do you have a module where this function fits into? Because you're already way ahead of the average. And the next step for you is building modules that hold your functions. And this is a great function to place into your first module if you haven't built one yet. So hopefully you appreciate my feedback. Until next time, let's play PowerShell. And hey, this is a Reddit session, but have fun.